everybody, and thank you for tuning in tonight to Sippin N Trippin. As you see, I have my guests on here, Al and Benita, or Beauty. Okay. So Benita. So thank you guys for coming on the show. If you guys have been following us and seen our promos for it, we are introducing this group that they started on Facebook, Motivational Men Mondays. Or what's the
Monday's Motivational Man.
You know, I always get shit all mixed up, but you know, my points are in there. But welcome to the show. Thank you for coming on. I wanted to bring these people on the show to talk about the group that they started because I thought it was very important in regards to talking about men and motivation and why I think men get a lot of the bad rap.
Yeah, we do.
You know, in some cases.
Yeah.
But we did an experimental day where look at his face.
I'll let Beauty talk about that first.
Yeah.
So
before we did have an experimental day that we all went out and people watched in regards to chivalry, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But I kind of wanted you guys to talk about how you guys created this group or format or.
Well, I'll let him talk because it was his brain idea.
This is your idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in 2018 we started Hug Day.
Okay.
And Hug Day started when I drove around and I just was Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Day after Thanksgiving.
You just walked around like.
Well, we made.
Yeah.
We did. Yeah.
2018 I just drove around. Hug people. I went on Facebook. I went around. Give people a hug. So man, some people need to do in the holidays, you know.
Hey, Kelvin.
People need to do all the holidays, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Strangers.
Yeah.
It's holidays suck.
Yeah.
Holidays suck for,
2018, was that COVID or before COVID? Before COVID.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think a lot of people have when the holidays come around.
Yeah.
Especially if they've lost people and things like that. Yeah. Especially like September Suicide Awareness Month. So I think that's important.
And we did a State Street in State of Red.
Okay. Did you guys have like a sign or
we had t-shirts that said Hug Dealer.
Yeah.
Hug dealer?
Hug dealers. Yeah. It was so much
Straight up
fun.
black and white t-shirts.
Yeah. Okay.
We hugged everybody who came for a hug.
How many people did we have? Like 20?
We had about 18, 20 people.
That volunteered or people
Yeah.
that volunteered to hug people?
You bet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Huh.
And a lot of those people didn't even want to hug people. They were afraid of hugging people.
Yeah.
Now, it was just
I think a lot of
pandemic.
people nowadays
They were shy.
Yeah.
They were
are just what do you call that? Like public affection or displays of affection.
Yes,
people are like,
Yeah.
and especially with strangers, like, let me hug you, and they're like, why? What do you want? What do you need?
Yeah.
So I'd have
And
been
that's
like
what people
creeper.
want.
I would have like walked up to a dude that said hug dealer. I'd have been like, what's wrong with you?
But no, we had cops, right?
Yeah,
there were
cops.
cops there,
Got pictures
everything,
on Facebook,
and
Oh, nice.
there were several people that were really
Hugs.
that really needed it.
Yeah.
That one lady that you guys talked to, that didn't her daughter commit suicide or
Oh,
something?
she was afraid that her daughter could commit suicide because she was going through a hard part of her life,
Okay.
and she was going through a lot of depression. So she couldn't reach her on the phone, and she was trying to call her. She needed a hug at that point. Gave her a hug, and a couple hours later, we were going off for lunch, and saw her again. She said she finally reached her daughter, and everything was great. We gave her a T-shirt.
It was a really good experience.
Yeah,
it really, really was. There was a lot of people that were like thinking that we wanted money. We're like, no, we just want to tell you that we love you, that you're, that you're seen and that you're appreciated. And people really responded to that really well. But then we were going to do it the next year, but then COVID happened.
Oh, yeah.
So we didn't get a chance to do it.
Are you guys thinking about doing it this year?
I don't know.
I mean, it's coming up.
I'm good with it.
I'm thinking about it, but I got something else in mind. If we don't do it,
Okay.
COVID's messing us up really bad.
But I mean, I think it's still maybe wear a mask. If you decide to do it, you can always have the people who are hugging.
Those robotic masks, but it'll be like
face shields,
the little lights.
Like I have a whole armored, but I can give you a hug.
It's just tougher though because everything that's going on in the world. So I have an idea for something.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So maybe we'll make it something happen.
So you guys started this but the
That
point
was
of it is
2019.
to.
Yeah.
So it's called Motivational Man Mondays. Or did I say it wrong
Mondays,
again?
Mondays,
It's tough. It's
motivational
tough.
man.
It's I call it Triple M.
Triple
Okay?
M.
Yeah.
I like that.
Triple
Yeah.
M. That's why I was like. That's why I put in the group chat. I'm like MMM day.
Mhm.
So we
Monday's
can talk
motivational
about
man,
it.
Right? Monday's
Mhm.
Monday's
Yeah.
Motivational Man. So look them up when you get a chance
On
after the
Facebook.
show, please. Look them up on Facebook. You can join the group. Pass me the bottle. Let me tell y'all something. So my friend, my dear friend, Chrissy Johnson, who you guys should
I know
know.
Chrissy, yo. I know her.
So
Hey,
she
Chrissy.
actually is a host on another B-side studios show, and I chop up everybody's freaking show name, all of that shit. So it's Mentally Tea or Mentality Tea. It's one of them, but y'all can look them up on Facebook also. It's part of the B-side Studios podcast thing, and she actually went out on a Disney cruise recently. So I was like, yo, since you out, you know what I'm saying? Can you find me a bottle of some Hennessy White? So old girl pulled through, came up in here, was just like, I got a present for you since you're gonna do a show tonight. And she hooked me up with some Hennessy White. So that's what we sipping on today.
And this
Little
kick
sip.
is strong. It's strong. I'm like,
Very
damn.
little.
Hey Eminem. That's Martha Moncada.
Hey, sis.
So yeah, she was just like, I know you're your guest star today.
Yeah.
So she came and blessed us with the bottle. And I was
Nice.
just like,
Thank you.
I don't know if I want to share.
Yeah.
I was like, but they
Thankfully, we
can't.
don't drink a lot.
Right, that's what I said. I was just like,
We got like this
You're
much.
gonna have leftovers. Yeah, you're gonna have leftovers.
and I was just like, I don't think they're big drinkers like Now, if it was some other people that I know, I'd have been like, I got wine for y'all. I would have been pouring over here. But no, thank you, Chrissy, for blessing me with the bottle tonight, and thank you for thinking about me. You know, I got you in the hair side. So that's what got Elle over here sweating
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So I want to get into really quick in regards to the experimental day. So they had an experimental day.
I'll let Beauty talk about it first. That way I can slow down, get my thoughts together. Go ahead.
Get your composers together. So, I had decided that we were gonna try this experiment that
Yes, they are.
Monday's Motivational Man is basically about where we go on the page and we honor the men about the things that they do, either like your father, your brother, a friend or whatever, uncle, because men don't get appreciated as much as women do, and we wanted to kind of have a place to honor men. So we were talking about chivalry that, as women, we're like, chivalry's dead. You don't get a man that does so many things for you anymore. And it's not like pay the bills. We're not talking about that. We're talking about like opening the car door, opening the door for, like when you're going into a place, staying on the right side where like the street is, just little simple things to show respect to your significant other, or even to your mom or any female that is in your life, even including your daughter. So we were kind of talking about this, and we decided that what we were going to do is we were going to drive out together and go to a parking lot to see just how many men will open the door for their female companion, have it be a sister, a mom, or
Their
daughters, whatever.
right?
So what we wanted to do is we went out and we got $100 worth of Dunkin' Donuts gift cards that were $10 each. So we sat in the parking lot at first of Ross by Diversey and Pulaski. So we met there. We were there for about a half hour. We're watching everything. Nothing. All these men come out with families and this and that, carrying babies, and the man is not even helping or anything. So we saw one, but by the time we got over there, they got in the car, and we're not going to be like, hey, knocking on the window, you know what I mean? So we waited, and then we saw this Spanish couple come, and they were like a car next to us. So I'm like, come on, let's do it. So I jumped out of the car, and because we saw him opening the door for her and then walking around to the other side. So the windows were tinted, I remember. A little bit, and we went over there and we had told them, we basically scared them, and I could see from looking through the back window that the woman was looking, and she's like who's these people talking to my man? So we kept our distance and stuff just to be respectful, and Yeah, because it's smart. You know, you don't know if you put
Right.
up on you.
And especially right now, everybody's shooting
Yeah.
everybody. So you got to be like, I
Yeah.
come in peace.
But he knew, you know,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
he didn't speak that much Spanish, and even though both he and I are Mexican, we don't speak Spanish. So we asked him, why did he do
I'm
that?
like, I don't speak that much.
Right? So we asked him, why did he do that? And he said, well, for honor. And Al asked him, honor for you or honor for her? And respect. And he said both, right? So that's when we started talking to him, and it was his wife came out, and they were such an amazing couple, like really sweet. And honestly, that was the only one we saw in what 2 hours that we were out. Yeah, about 3 or 4 hours that we were out. We went to Target parking lot. We were at Elston.
Yeah.
Watching people over there.
I mean, fathers getting in the cars with their daughters, not opening the car doors for them, or even making sure that they got in the car.
And
walking in front of the
so
children.
we were like, we told you, Al, see?
Right. Well, that was part of the discussion that came up.
Yeah,
Was like,
I'm gonna grab the paper now.
no, I'm not.
But that was part of the conversation where Al had mentioned like, you know, like women are always out here saying like men ain't shit, this, that. He was just like, fuck, motherfuckers, men ain't shit. Like they don't. I mean, it's like you got a woman carrying a baby and putting the baby in the car, and this
like
that,
all hot because of the light.
It's not the liquor, it's the light.
Yeah, exactly.
no.
Uh-huh.
No, but you know, and it was part of that whole conversation. It was just like even like seeing these fathers walking with their own children. This is a generation of boys trying to portray men.
Yep.
Yes,
That's true.
but the flip side of that is that do we have men that are here to show these boys?
Yeah.
So those men, were they ever shown chivalry or to be this way to show? I mean, because nowadays I actually had this discussion with one of my clients today, actually, where we're like respect.
Yeah.
Respect, I think, is a very lost word nowadays. Because like I had a client today that she had an appointment today, and it's actually next Wednesday. So she's in her 80s. She got to cuss me out. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do now? I mean, I'm like, she's not a sweet little old lady. Okay, she's probably like 4'8". You know, got to talking crazy to me, and a part of me wanted to be like, bitch, who the fuck is you talking to, right? But I'm like, she's an elder. I can hear my mother in the back of my head, like, if you cuss the old lady out, I'm coming for you. Like, you know, my mother don't have to be here, but I can feel.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to lose respect for this lady. First, I know she's disappointed because she thought she was going to get her hair done. And then she didn't, so I can understand her being upset about it. Miscommunication on whoever's part. And it happens, but it was just like, but nowadays you have children that are beating up their grandparents. Like, and their parents are like, well, what did you do to piss off my child? It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care what their grandparents said. You have no right to put your hands on an elder. You know what I'm saying? So I think that part is lost in this generation. But why? Like, why? Where did we as humans drop the ball in that aspect? I think it's a trickle down effect in regards to showing, because I think we talked about it in regards to women having to raise boys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
And
saying? So I think sometimes that gets broken down because there aren't men in the household anymore. We have a lot of single parents.
Yeah.
But then I think it's a responsibility in regards to uncles, brothers. Right.
Exactly.
Right. Right. So then, but you can't show your daughter or your son. Like you can show your son how to do though. But you can't show your daughter. What you can do is show your daughter what to expect from a man.
Exactly. And we were only able to visually see that act of chivalry
In that moment.
Right. I mean,
we're out there what 2 hours?
Yeah. I mean, we're not at home with them where we see stuff or other things. There's other acts of chivalry. You know what I mean? Of course.
Even the whole face,
But,
the
yeah.
part, the whole beginning part.
Yeah, we were looking
Right.
at
We're
that.
just looking for basics.
Chivalry, we couldn't even find that. We wanted that.
Once and
And did he say that it was his father that taught him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it's great.
And it's very like I mean, I don't know because my dad wasn't around.
Right.
You know, my dad was not college. I mean, I loved him and everything, but I didn't see that in my home.
Right.
You know, so to be honest, I didn't expect that certain things because I wasn't shown.
Right.
You know, and it was along the way as I got older that it was shown to me, and it felt a little awkward.
Right. I agree.
You
Because
know,
I'm in the same. I was in the
It
same.
felt a
same
little
thing.
awkward, but you do feel honored. I mean, I have, you know, my friends that, male friends and stuff like that, that open the door for me. He does, you know, everything like that. So it makes you feel like, wow, this is something nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And it feels like they care. They respect you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even just walking you to your car. I had an incident like that one time.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you, dude. But that's why he's not around no more.
And you know what, though? It's like,
No, but it was like we had left the bar and we were meeting somewhere else.
yeah.
I'm like, yo, my car's parked over there to see what he would do. And he was just like, okay, I'll just wait for you over here. And I'm like, he didn't even offer, like, let me drive you to your car or let me walk you to your car.
Yeah.
And then you can drive me back to my
Now, see,
car.
those are other acts of chivalry that we have. Like,
Right.
there's guys that
Come
do do
out, yeah.
that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? That do walk the girl to the car, or they do go get the car for them, or drop the kids off and here, and then they go back there. That's acts of chivalry. That's what we were looking for.
And it's the simplest things, though.
Yeah.
Just to show a woman that you're thinking of her. So I guess we have to break down chivalry.
Yeah.
To some people. Because I see a comment in here
Exactly.
that says, shaking my head, the Prophet brothers need to conduct a class on chivalry, aka being a gentleman 101. Mr. Don Prophet. So that's Mr. Maurice's family. So we kind of go through Gentleman 101 a little bit just now.
That's funny.
Yeah, he was tight. Oh man, he was tight.
I was upset.
He was tight about it. I was just like, I mean, I always try to look at the brighter side because it was disappointing. It was disappointing.
Yeah. That we had met, that was the bright side.
That was the brighter side.
You can read on the page.
Yeah.
The fact that we saw a father allowing his kids, little girl, walk behind them, but they get snatched up, and he wasn't
No, he was walking in front of them, and the girls were behind him.
He wasn't in front of him.
No.
Putting the girls before him, and this would be the same.
And I had a problem with that because their hair looked a mess. I was just like, how do you let your children walk out of the house looking like that?
That's
Like they were
another
like
thing that single fathers do is they're doing their girls' hair.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and painting their toes and those things like that. Those are other.
And maybe that day we just didn't meet the right guys. We didn't come across
Yeah.
the right gentlemen. But at the same token,
I think we should have went across the street to Cermak.
Yeah.
To the
grocery store,
Yeah.
we would have
to
seen
see
more.
what happens.
Yeah,
I think
it's
we would have
just-
saw more.
I
over there.
was really upset. It was a really bad day.
Yeah,
Because I keep thinking that when women say men ain't shit, and here are the men proving that they're proving that statement from women.
Right.
And I'm not, you know me, on my Facebook, I defend both sides, men and women. And I try to give both of us the benefit of the doubt, but that was a failed experiment.
Yeah. Actually,
horribly failed.
So Chrissy came in today, and I didn't even think about it. I had posted back, I want to say in July. She had mentioned it today. And back in July, I had posted a comment or something, video or something. And I know she talked about it. She talked about it on her last podcast, Mentality Tea, where she brought it up. They posted it was a woman that was saying that in regards to dating nowadays and things like that, it was the woman was just like, dating now, it's like if she's looking for help in regards to like money, she's not gonna call the guy she's dating. She's gonna call a friend or her brother or somebody else because she can't rely on the man that she's dating. Or if the man's coming over, let's say the man's coming over to her house, the guy that she's dating. Like if you see her garbage needs to get thrown out, she shouldn't have to ask you to throw it out.
Yeah.
You should just, hey, I'm leaving. Let me get your garbage and throw it out. Or if you walk in the house and you see the door handle is a little wobbly, like she shouldn't have to say, hey, can you fix my doorknob? He can just be like, hey, just like you said, you got a screwdriver, or let me go to my trunk. and get my screwdriver.
And
I don't know
those
why a
are
man would have a
all-
screwdriver in his trunk, but you know
and
what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like,
and like you said, those are all acts of respect for the woman. And
Right.
there are men that do that.
and there's some that don't.
No, so I think what we're missing though, what I think is missing is that are these men not feeling respected to even do the chivalry acts,
Right.
or the women not requesting more from a man?
That's a
another
so-
good
point.
question.
so
Yeah,
that's
that
where
was
we're
a
stuck
good
at.
question that
So
we
how
were
do we-
talking about.
How do we cross that barrier? How do we make sure that
And now, were
these
they
men-
ever shown that? Because
Yeah.
my thing is just like sometimes nowadays, or before with the single mom,
Yeah.
as women, I think as women generally, it's just like when like if I ask my children to do something, I'm always like, oh, you know what, forget it, I'll do it myself because like I'm gonna do it right, so I'm just gonna do it myself. But then, who does that benefit me or does that not benefit them? Because at the end of the day, they're not gonna learn if I just keep doing everything for them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it flipped my. So same thing. I didn't grow up without a father, and so I didn't see that side in
Right.
regards to men and whatever. But now that I'm getting older, and now that I'm raising two boys, it's like I can't show them how to be men,
Mhm.
but I can show them how to treat a woman.
Right.
Correct.
And then it was a flip of a click click, aha, my aha moment where it's
There's
like,
the answer.
wait, but if I'm trying to show my children, like when I go out with my children, I do not touch a door handle. I will sit there and my son be like, Mom, you really waiting for me? Yes, sir.
Uh-huh.
And then walking on the side of the street, and I try to tell them, like, I don't care if you're with your girlfriend, with me, your grandma, like this is what you're always supposed to do. You could be walking down the street with just a friend who's a female.
Yeah.
You better throw her on the inside of that street.
And I was about probably like 16 when I discovered that, because I was walking from like I think it was we had like bumper pools, like we were at the school, the little football. We had like bumper pools and stuff.
Okay.
And my guy friend and I were walking back home, and he grabbed me. He's like, "You go inside." I'm like, "Why? Like, why'd you do that?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Because you need to walk on the inside of the street." I'm like, "Why?" He goes, "Because if a car comes, it's gonna hit me first before you." And I said, "Oh, okay." So that's the only.
So you got the good
Protection.
version. You know what the
that's
version I
only
got?
thing got, you know
No,
what I
you know
mean?
so that happened to me. I don't know if it was like with a family
Yeah.
member or
There's always
something.
protection. That's all.
Yeah.
But right. So I wasn't told that. That was nice. So like what I was told when they throw me on the inside of the street, I'm like, what's up? What are you doing? You know, because I was such a tomboy. I was like, what the fuck? You
Right,
know,
that's how I was.
they were like
Yeah.
only prostitutes walk on the side of the street. So like if there's a woman and a man walking on the street and he's on the inside and you're on the outside, that means he's your pimp or he's trying to sell you. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
it makes sense. Because then when I drove to the west side and you see that, I said, you know what they're doing over there. But those are the little things that.
So let me ask you, where did you learn it? From your dad?
Everybody.
Your whole family is like that?
Now, do you have a close family?
Yeah, well,
And see, I'm wondering, just from like an outsider, I'm wondering if that trickles down like what you were saying before. Like, where does it come from? Does it come from if a family is close that they teach each other, they're there for each other? It's that protection of love.
Right.
Compared to when you have a family that is not close. You know, maybe there's a single mom, or say the dad's working days and the mom's working nights, and they barely see each other. You know what I mean? Or they're exhausted and don't have weekends, or if a single mom or a single dad works, and then the grandparents are watching. You know what I mean?
But I think it's all
It's
in
a
respect
family
to
flow.
to respect and love
Yeah.
for that other individual. Because how many times have you seen a wife or the woman in the household per se, and let's say the man's working and she's got the kids, and there's a warm plate sitting in the oven for him.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
And
Like
she still
I've
hasn't
made
made it
you right, and I.
She hasn't even made it yet.
Oh, I don't know about that. Maybe I will make you a plate, okay? And it'll be like warm and tucked in the oven. But I know.
I'm saying that the kid gets that.
I'm supposed to wait for your man to eat. Well, I mean, come on, I don't know about that.
You don't have to, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I'm
you
just
put
saying.
the thing in the oven.
I don't know if it is just a fact. I think it's also that. I think it's about
Yeah. Yeah, because like nowadays they're talking about money.
Yeah.
Like I pay my bills,
Oh, the
do that, like, you know, and it's just like I don't support that. Like, I don't support when they be like, I don't need no man. I can take care of this. And I'm like, shut up.
Right.
Shut up.
Exactly.
Because it would be nice.
Yeah.
If a man sat there, not necessarily paying your bills, but if a man sat there and thought about you, just you, regardless of the aspect, if it had nothing to do with money, right? She would be like, if she found a flower on her windshield wiper with a little note that said, "Have a great day, I love you." Don't tell me that you ain't gonna sit there and be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't give me that shit.
It's the little things. The text in the morning, the morning, the night.
I have a thing about the text.
She's like,
you're not gonna good morning me to death, motherfucker, if you ain't really talking about shit. But yes.
It's and those are, I consider all acts of chivalry.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
You care. You
Yeah,
care.
it's
When somebody
showing
says,
that
hey,
you
how's your
care.
day going?
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you're blowing smoke up my ass, but hey, my day went great. How was your day?
Yeah.
You know?
And it was funny because I was talking to someone the other day about the 5 love languages.
They were talking about that on the show.
and what they are.
Yeah.
You know, and each person is different. And I was wondering, I'm not trying to make excuses, but that kind of would that fall into something like that? Like,
yes.
Like maybe a guy's love language isn't that kind of acts, but maybe it's time.
Right.
Or like affection, or you know what I mean, or words of affirmation.
Yeah.
But again, like I don't want to make excuses for anything, but it, you know what I mean. If like at home they were only shown one type of affection.
So it's the same. Like if a child gets in trouble, or if a child's rewarded, and all you do is buy them something.
Yeah.
So in their mind, I think they're like, if I do something, you get programmed like, oh, if I do something right, you're gonna reward me.
Yeah.
Not with just like, good job, thank you.
Right.
Or we have these instances where, like, let's say the father in these broken homes, right? The father comes and like, well, I babysat my child. I see that on my social media, and I'm like, motherfucker, that's your child. Like, you're supposed to watch him any fucking way.
You're
like,
a father, you're not a babysitter.
Right, you're not a babysitter. You had to pay a babysitter. That's your child, but they're programmed a certain way where it's just like.
I think we're forgetting a lot of things. That it's okay for a woman to be independent, but we're forgetting the man's role and the woman's role.
Yeah,
right. And people hear that, and then they get all.
They get all
They got all tight. Like, well, I'm supposed to just sit at home and wash dishes and like, no.
It's okay for you to.
But it's also like for a man to understand, like, you know, like there was a post actually that I heard, like, a job isn't a relationship isn't 50-50.
Right, it's 100-100.
Right, because like if we're both working. So when a man gets off work, he sits down, wants to have a beer and watch TV, where the woman's gonna cook, continue to clean, feed the family, make sure the kids got their homework done, and so she's not off of work while he just sits on the couch and watches TV. Because that's the man role. But it's just like, no, motherfucker, if we both working,
right?
If I'm cooking, you better help them and get them showered and do help with homework while the cooking. And then, because at the end of the night, then once they're all done, the kids go to bed, then you both can sit on the couch and have a cocktail and a beer or whatever y'all do. Blunt, you know, whatever to relax. Right, like I don't need flowers. I need flowers. I need flowers. Look at you, girl. You know what I'm saying? So I think but it goes back. Little flies. But it goes back to the upbringing. It goes back to parents and showing them. And if a man per se doesn't know now, like as an adult man, if you see that this might be wrong, I think as an adult you can change it even for yourself.
Now, see, I know someone that his mom really raised him as the father should have raised him, with like respect and for the kids and things like that. And he's an amazing dad, you know what I mean? But and it falls into that too, like what you were saying, being a single mom, you know, teaching your son these things and how to treat a woman. That's important as well.
Yeah, because my son had a little girlfriend. And I would be like, but I never heard him taking her out.
Yeah.
Like he'd go hang out with his boys and then go see her for like 30 minutes and then come home. And I'm like, did you invite her to go and hang out with you guys? Like I never heard him like invite her to a movie or nothing. And I'm just like, why is she your girlfriend? So then I'm like, okay, well now I have to have this conversation, right? Because like women or girls or whatever, like she wants to know that you're really interested in her. So like inviting her to the movies, even if you're hanging out with your friends, like if there's other girls there, bring her along so she feels that she wants some companionship. So I brought it up the day that we were doing it, where it was this one time. I think I might have mentioned it on the show before, where I was coming out of the movie with the kids, and I see this couple with their daughter, and the gentleman put his daughter in the car first, and then he opened the door for his girl, and then he got in the car. And I'm sitting there like hitting myself, like, look at what they're doing. That's what you're supposed to do when you have a family girl, me in the car, whatever. Like, that's what you're supposed to do. Like, I wish I had a gift certificate. Like, here you go, bro.
I have mine in my purse that I carry with just in case. Yeah.
Oh, so in case you see acts of chivalry, you be like,
I will. I'd be like, can we take a picture of it? You know.
And you don't know, like my kids will hold the door open for like people behind. I tell them like keep the door open if there's somebody behind you walking.
I know kids like that.
And you don't know how many people are like, oh my God, thank you so much. Like it's so uncommon nowadays. I think we're all like, it's just about me. It's my world. F everybody else.
Well, you know, with their heads down, looking at their phone.
I mean, I was at Starbucks the other day, and I was heading out, and I held this door open for this other woman, and she just walked right in. She didn't say nothing to me. I said, "You're welcome." She literally turned around and gave me like a look like that, and I was like, "Ooh." I'm like, "Let me just bless you, and let me just keep going." You know, I was like, "Wow," and that made me think about even just respect.
So imagine if she has children.
I mean, it's just a respect thing,
right? Or her husband. Does she have a husband? So like, what's their?
I think we're forgetting a lot. I think it's like, we like, I don't even know what to say. Like we had that father walking with the two daughters, and they're walking behind them. But later on, he's the one, a man, to open the door for her, bring her flowers, and the whole nine. And things. I think.
This is true. Right. Like my girlfriend has daughters, and like if their kids, their boyfriends, or they're going on a date, she's like, "Oh no, they know like I'm outside. Come outside." He has to come and ring the doorbell, and I was just like, "Huh." And I never thought to like think about it that way. We gonna put some hair on this just tonight. No, but it was just like I told him like that. Great, because I never even thought to have that conversation. It's like walk up. You don't have to. I don't know about walking the door, but like still, like ring the doorbell so that the parents see. You know, your girl. You're about to take my child out of this house. She's like, he's about to take my child out of this house in his car. They're putting her in his care. So, like, I want to meet this person that's going to have my child. So, let me see your face. Let me see your face. Let the ring doorbell get a picture of your face.
I remember when my dad was living with us and I was going to prom. Yeah. And he did that. The guy, like, honked the horn. He went outside. He's like, excuse me. Like, you're going to come up here and you're going to get her. Right. You know what I mean? And then he came up and got me. My dad's like, you ain't going with him. And he said it. You ain't going with him. He had him come up to the door and stuff and talk to my dad. And my dad's like, no, you ain't going with him. Go with that other guy. And everything. And he had me go with like my neighbor friend and stuff like that. Yeah. But we had a great time. It was fun. But it was that showed me something. That was the one time that he did that.
And I think it's speaking out on those kind of things. Yeah. Like even with children. Or just demanding it from a man. Yeah. Now that I'm older and I'm learning more and I'm seeing it, it's just like now I'm like I ain't touching the door. When I go out with motherfuckers, I don't care friend or foe. I'm not opening the door.
See,
and then I was called. No, remember the story?
I always open the door.
I know you do, but I'm just saying I'll be honest. I don't demand that. Yeah. I don't.
When opening the doors like this, when it comes to a car, it makes me feel awkward. Yeah. But I'm like, but it should be done.
But it should be done. It's not requesting it or demanding it.
I'm demanding that shit.
Isn't that also part of the problem?
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Because
Yes.
if you don't let your man know where his place is at, and that's
Yeah.
what I mean that we all have our roles.
Yeah.
That's what I mean when we have our place
Man
at. You
got
don't
his
let
place.
yeah, if you
You're
don't
right.
let your man know where his place is at,
No, that's true.
just like a man, if
Yeah.
you don't tell you where your place is at as a
Yeah.
woman, then not to be in the kitchen cooking or
No, I understand what you're
Yeah.
saying.
You know what I'm saying?
But it's
But
respect.
holding him
It
up,
goes back to
having his
respect.
back,
Respect
you know?
for
holding him up, having his back, being there for him.
Absolutely.
right.
I think
Absolutely.
that's what we're forgetting in regards to couples, people
Yeah.
dating.
It's
Right.
true.
Nobody's
It's
looking out
true.
for each other. It's all about
It's
I can do my own thing.
yeah.
I can
It's
get
like
my
what
own.
you said. It's not 50-50. It's
Yeah.
100-100.
Right.
Yeah, nobody's
You're
saying that you can't get your own.
Helping each other.
So like I can go back to like my nephew and my brother. I don't know if I got it from my brother. Not to throw my brother under the bus or anything. But like my nephews, like there's no like if they see us getting our stuff together,
Yeah.
like here I got it.
Yeah.
And then they'll walk my mom to the car and open
Oh,
her
for
door
Yeah, yeah.
and stuff. And it's just like, but even now, like even for me, so like even it doesn't have to be like when I go to parties with my mom, she sits down and I'm like, do you need anything to drink?
Yeah.
Do you want me to fix your? This is what they got on the menu, mom. Do you want me to fix your plate, or do you want to do it? And sometimes she'll be like, "Oh, do it for me."
Mm-hmm.
And then I go do it and I give her the plate, and it's not like I have to, but it's
Right.
respect for my mother
It's an act of love.
that I do it right. That's my love language.
Yeah.
So I had a stylist one time. We were talking about that, and I'm this independent woman, rah rah rah, and all that shit, right? So like in my household, I serve my children their plates first.
Okay.
And when I was in the relationship, I served him also. And when we went to parties, I served their plates, and then I do it.
True.
And the woman was like, "You what?" And she's like, "Oh no, I cook it, and everybody serves their own plate."
Yeah.
And I was just like, "That's you.
Right.
That's in your household, but in my
Exactly.
household, that's just what I felt like I wanted to do, not because I had to do it,
Yeah.
but I wanted
That's
to
true.
do it because to me it felt like this is me showing you I love you. Me feeding you is
Right.
showing. I'll cook for everybody.
But it's the
Okay.
presentation. It's the presentation too.
It
Because
is.
Right.
you can cook and leave it on the stove and just walk away.
Right.
How does that look?
Fuck y'all, motherfuckers.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
You can put a stick on the garbage lid. How does that look though?
Right.
It's the presentation.
It is presentation.
Yeah. So
You know
no,
what I'm
it's
saying?
and then they'll wait till like I sit down. And then not that we say grace, but it's just like, okay, everybody's
Oh,
sitting
yeah,
down
we
now.
pray.
We can.
Yeah, yeah.
We do. We pray with the kids. Yeah.
That's great.
Absolutely. We do. We always pray with the kids.
But
before
they'll
we
wait.
eat.
But they'll wait for me,
Yeah.
and then we can just finish and
Yeah.
whatever. And then they'll put all their plates.
That's
They'll
one
pick
thing
up
I
the
can say.
plates.
If I cook, he cleans. If he cooks, I clean. And the kids put their stuff away. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So that is.
It's a unit.
It is. It's true.
Yeah.
That is a good thing.
Yeah, but the lady was so like, you serve his plate. I'm like, okay, motherfucker, hold on, hold on. No, yeah, right. And some people would probably think that if they didn't really know me and like, she ain't doing that. I'm like, fuck you, motherfucker. Like, no.
Yeah.
But I do that just to show, like I said, I don't cook for everybody. If I cooked for you
Go
in the past, be blessed.
I put a little.
I have some already.
That's it.
Oh, I guess still
You
got some.
finished?
Oh, I'll take more.
Go ahead. I had a
Go
little.
ahead,
little.
go
Oh,
ahead.
you still got a whole
This
lot.
is it.
He's sweating over here. See, sipping and tripping.
But nobody has questions.
You guys have any questions in regards to what we're talking about, chivalry? But I think like your motivational Monday's motivational man. So I felt it like it was a group where men can feel safe, like a safe zone. You know what I'm saying? So if they have like any qualms or shit that they gotta get off their chest, like speak on that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the group where you can speak on it. And or if you're going through a situation and be like, man, bro, am I wrong? Like talking to your homies, but not talking to your homies. Because then you also get a female point of view. And I think that helps. I want that.
No, but
it's because it's real people going through real shit.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you're going through real shit, like I'm a person that I gotta talk it out.
Talk it out. That's
for me
how
to
I
like
am.
get it.
To process.
Yeah. Right. And then sometimes I'd be thinking like I'm on my rah, and I'd be like, and then I'll talk about it.
You're like, damn, I messed up.
Right. And then I'd be like,
I was the one wrong. Like, I was
when you see me go,
you know what?
Now,
yeah. Now not everybody, but I don't want them to my extent. If I gotta apologize, be like, all right, so what had happened? So like, you know how you just scoot your booty over? That's my. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, I don't have no problem.
and I don't like to argue.
That happens a lot with text message.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Text messaging now. Because
I
like
hate
depending on my
conversations.
mood,
Long
I'm like,
conversations. Just call me. You're sitting there texting like 3 pages. Just text me. Or what I'll do is I record it and I'll send it. And it's like 15 minutes or whatever. Like, if you didn't want to hear me, call me. Well, now you're going to listen to me and you're listening. Because I'm going to say what I got to say and get it out. You know? But it's but it's true, though. You know what I mean? It's like,
for me, it depends on the topic or who I'm talking to. Because sometimes I'd be like, I need a moment. Because if I'm gonna tell you what I'm thinking,
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking hurt your feelings. So
yeah,
let me
that's true.
let me insert this.
Yeah.
Let me give a moment. I'll call you tomorrow, and then we can discuss it further.
That's true.
or
Because that's communication.
whatever.
It's not about ignoring.
No, it's just like we're gonna
I
have to
need
put a
some
pin in
time.
this,
Yeah.
put it on the shelf for now.
That's
Because
true.
if we, because sometimes when you're getting into these arguments or discussions, it's a circle.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna keep saying what you're gonna say. I'm gonna keep saying what I'm gonna
You're
say.
right.
If there's no pause, because then that gives me a moment to think about what they're saying, to think about what I'm saying,
Yeah.
and be like, okay, pick your battles. Like,
Right.
is
But
this that
communicate that.
important?
Right?
Yeah.
Communicate that. Give me some time. I'll call you.
Right. Because I'm just, and then it's gonna just get, it's gonna, for me, it's just gonna keep heated. Because then I'm just gonna be mad for no fucking reason. I'm just gonna be mad not only with that, then the fuck you gonna come out. You know, fuck you, fuck that. So that's why I'm like, we gonna put a pin in this and we'll talk tomorrow. I think that a lot of people think about like relationships nowadays that people like, he take care of me, like she take care of him, and it's just like right. And it's like, and if I do it for myself, what else do you have to offer me? This is like dick pics. Like I get them. No, not too like. No, but like no, but no. But I just say like, but you know what my response is? My response is like, is that all you have to offer? And they're like, like, okay, great. Thank you for showing me what you're working with. But what else do you have to offer? Because that's the best thing that they got. Sometimes they think
That's the mentality.
that's their mentality. That's why my response is that. Like, what else do you have to offer?
What makes this individual man to be thinking that he's so blessed?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm not trying to.
No,
you know,
I'm
not
gonna
trying to.
start responding. That's it.
You know what I'm saying?
And to answer what you're saying,
I mean,
it's
the
like,
same goes with women sending pictures too. I mean,
Right.
it's like that's
That's
a
everything.
disrespect.
you got
It is to me. It's
That
disrespectful.
is disrespectful.
Mhm.
For a
So,
man
like,
to do
you
that. And I
just-
think it's disrespectful for a woman to do it unless you're in a relationship, or,
Right,
you
and you're
know,
just
Or
doing
already-
that.
if you're asking for it or just
Right.
something that you feel in
Right.
the vibe of a person.
Like I ain't
one
seen
thing.
you all week here.
But that's
Remember
how-
me,
but this-
motherfucker.
This is how people are talking nowadays.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
Right,
saying? Let
and
me
it's
just
just
send you
like
this
starting
first.
off.
Let me get you in with this.
It's the hookup.
That's what's gonna
Don't
work.
get me. I'll look.
We all-
But then I respond with like, okay, what else do you have to offer?
Yeah.
Like that's it. That's all you got.
And that gets me back to give and take. It's
Yeah,
not
it's-
about taking, because at that point you will not offer. That's a take.
Yeah.
We all gotta just give. And it sounds corny. I know.
No,
No, I don't think it's corny. Your time. What are they gonna get out of it? Very true. said he said thank you. We don't have to.
That's a way of saying, hey, because a lot of times us guys, we don't say a lot of things. We don't say what's bothering us. We don't talk about, every little
Sexy
thing.
Al is a little muffled.
That's cat. Hey,
He's
cat.
single.
That's my
How you
girl.
doing?
She's awesome. But it's true what you said just a minute ago. It's what about giving without the expectation of receiving?
Yeah.
True.
And not only in relationships, but just be that person.
Yeah.
Be that person to give if it's to friends or family, male, female, whatever, just be that person with that character
Yeah.
to give love, to give respect, to give honor, because that's who you are.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And you're right. You're absolutely right with that. And a lot of people are not like that anymore.
Yeah.
They're not. What can they get?
What can I get out?
What can they get out in possibly a friendship relationship? You're there to give. Do your best. That is true. Get to know the person.
It's okay to have sex. Don't get me wrong. But sometimes we talk about it so fast. Okay, now it's just all the more this. You don't know nothing about this person.
And
I have no comment on that.
Sometimes people talk about the sex before you know it.
Right.
But then you find out you're too straight.
And
Or they might have. I mean,
no, it's
these
true.
are serious.
It's true. Just to say it. Right.
Say that again. Say it again. Say it loud.
Say it loud
for them to hear.
Say it into the mic.
You don't know who
Say
what?
it into the mic.
Living into your soul.
That's
as well as
right.
your life.
Right.
Who's habitat?
So you're sharing your energy.
Yeah.
When you're with these people, you're sharing
Yes.
your energy.
You got it.
And it's true. Finding out the crazy. Yes, that's cool.
It's not
You're giving
your
a piece
body.
of
It's not just. I mean, it is part of your body, but it's your. There's a connection. There's an energetic.
There's energy. I don't know about a heart, but I will
But
agree
that's
with that
part of
energy.
you. That's part of you.
Yeah.
I will agree. Right.
Say it again.
Kat said it's very rare.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but then I go, okay. So I mean, I agree.
I don't want to make it sound
I
one-sided.
agree.
But you
But
get what I'm
I
saying.
agree.
That's a maturity level.
Yes, and I agree.
But
But
sometimes you want to test out the good.
right,
I
because
get that.
I don't want to
I
wait
get
3
that.
months and then it's like, oh, trash.
But
Okay.
see,
I don't
But
waited
if
3
you're testing
months for
But if you're
nothing.
testing out those goods, are you testing out the mentality goods?
Right, that
Thank
comes
you.
after.
You know what I'm saying? The
Thank
spiritual
you.
goods.
Like, let me get a little nibble.
The spiritual
And then if
goods.
it's nice and juicy, I'm like,
The-
okay. Now you can have my other
A
attention.
person doesn't. Sex doesn't define one person.
That's right.
There's also
Right, but that's
a whole package.
So let me ask you this question. What and you too, because
This coming.
because you can have sex with the person and it be horrible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It'd be like, oh my god, that was really horrible. It's horrible. But then what if you take time to right? And to get to know them and everything like that. And you're intimate with them and it's not what you expected. But there's that connection. And then you learn each other and what you like,
better.
and the sex is amazing. So having sex with a person immediately, and you're like, oh,
me, it's not about that. For me, it's
They
about
they don't know.
You can have sex with people the way you like to have sex.
wait, repeat, can't hear me. Okay.
What did I say? No.
She said that when you have sex with somebody first,
Yeah.
and
When you have sex with somebody first, it may not be what you expected, right? But once you get to know that person, there is that knowing them. Yeah, you got to know them. You got to, you're familiar with them, and then maybe when you guys do have sex, it's not fireworks, but there's that connection, and you're able to talk to them like, and then it progresses, and sex is not the foundation of the relationship. It is getting to know the person. So sometimes you can really you can go on a date with someone and anticipate like, wow, I have an attraction to this person. You get to know them, but the attraction changes. It's no longer a sexual thing. It's deeper than that. It's friendship. It's companionship, and then what I mean. It's different. Right.
You're
Right.
that's what you want. That's okay. Right. That's it. If you're in it's kind of be a part of the relationship. You're gonna get more because you get sex.
Right.
yeah, but I gotta know what size he is.
Oh my God, girl, you're crazy.
It ain't gonna be the most of the nose, but I gotta see what you're working with. Because if you like micro, I'm sorry, it's not gonna happen. I did look. I only speak from experience. So I met a guy, nice guy, and we did the whole like getting to know each other and all of that shit. It was great. Nice guy.
Nice guy.
But when it came to that, it was like,
How long before it got to that?
I always try it out first, second date. I always got to see what
Was
it's
there
working
communication in regards to sex? Period.
Oh yeah.
Like not just like I'm gonna get in those draws, but
No.
words of the sexy. Not just that. Just
No.
what each other likes. What each person
Right.
likes.
Yeah. No. He's great in that department.
And
But it was in communication. It wasn't a bad experience, but it was just not what I like. Like I know for myself, I get bored
Did you tell him what you like?
after that. What?
Did you tell him what you like?
Did I tell him what I like? No, he did that stuff. What I liked.
Did you tell him the stuff that he did?
He just wasn't big enough. I felt like I wasn't with a lesbian.
But there's
But
there's adapters.
It's horrible. I hope he's not watching.
But there's. Are we gonna go there?
No.
On this show?
I don't know what this has to do with chivalry.
This is supposed to be about men's chivalry. This is supposed to be about.
I'm not trying to man bash
the
nobody.
motivational man in your
That's
life.
not what this is about.
Now we're
This is
talking
not,
about
I'm not man bashing him.
We need another
Oh, I
situation.
treated him.
What
I
did
treated
Kathy
him.
say? What did she say?
We might have
Oh.
She said, wait,
Okay.
repeat. She was just
I'll
asking.
give her.
No, but I'm not saying like, but I like.
Go back to chivalry.
Let's go back to talking about gentlemen.
No, but he was a gentleman. Like I'll go back to that.
Yeah,
Like he
yeah.
was a gentleman
Okay.
and all of that. But like I said, he was a nice guy. Just that.
Nice.
Not all of them.
He did though.
He did. But that's just that he didn't have my love language.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Girl.
He just didn't have my love language. That was it.
The male lesbian walking around.
Yeah. I mean, he has kids, so somebody liked him.
Girl, you're so bad.
He's just gonna pull out. Oh my
I don't
goodness.
know.
Okay, let's get back to the gentleman that
But he was a gentleman, though. He opened my doors. He would walk me out to the car.
See?
Right.
That's
That's the whole basis of the page.
Yeah.
Of the-
So let me ask you,
Monday's
since
motivational
you're
man.
since you're a single man, that is a gentleman, that was raised that way and stuff like that. When you go out on dates with women to just get to know them, do you how do you approach that in a sense of from a man's point of view, where we talked about it, where you're at a particular age that you're looking for value, you're looking for someone long term. What are the things that match your chivalry that in looking for someone long term that you look for in a woman from a man's point of view?
I'm not sure how to answer that.
Well, like, so
Well,
I guess what
Okay.
I'm asking is like when you go out on a date with like a girl, knowing that you're looking for something long term,
Yeah.
for something that's matches you where you're
Yeah.
at in your life. If you meet a girl and she's like, I'll get her, like, hey, yeah, come on, let me go home with you. You know, is but what are you looking for? Are you looking for that girl that has the conversation that is, you know what I mean? Like, what are those things? Because there are women that are our age in our 50s, you know what I mean, that are looking for that and they don't know what to look for. I should say they don't look for it. They find men that are like, oh, you know, between the 90s and the 50s, you know what I mean? So as a man that has this standard, that honestly sucks, where's where did you look for this? 70s, yeah. I just made it. I'm 79. I just made it. 71 years. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We didn't have the internet. We weren't sitting
Right.
and you know.
We were talking about the long cord that goes.
Oh my God, that stretch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we go on dates with.
Hey, Facebook user, thank you. You got a question for us while we answer these other ones?
If anybody has some questions, go ahead and please post them. We'll try to answer them. Chivalry. I think back in the day, I would say when somebody comes to me in public, I feel like, I swear to God, I'm just like, hey.
I'm so old school like that. I still
Yeah.
can do that.
Like last summer, I had a dude like was like pull over, and I was like, oh my God, yes, I will pull over. Because like, when's the last time you had that like, hey beautiful, can you pull over? I want to talk to you real quick. I'm like, and half of my brain was like, he can fucking kill you, bitch.
Right.
And the other part
crazy.
was just like, was like, hey, yeah, pull over. You know what I'm saying? Just because I thought it was cute.
Right.
So I was just like, sure. It turned out to be an asshole, but anyways.
Yeah.
But it was that old school.
Yeah.
That old
Let's do it
school
face to face.
face to face
The real
type
face to face, not a
courting,
Facebook profile
romancing,
picture, not
yeah.
a Snapchat, not a Snapchat, stuff like that. We didn't have to do that. We couldn't do that. We didn't have that.
Yeah.
So your conversation had to be good. You had to make her laugh. You had to talk to her.
Mhm.
Don't get me wrong. I'm on this Game of Thrones type of thing. So that's like, you talking about old school. That's back. I'm like, I need 3 goats. Before you take me out on a date.
But you're
that's
right,
where we're
though.
at. Yeah.
Yeah.
So even nowadays, I mean, if I'm talking to somebody or conversating with somebody, we can talk about sex. We can talk about, is that what you're looking for? Are you looking for me just for one night? Are we doing this? Or are we actually going to start courting? We don't even do that anymore either.
Yeah.
We're not courting anymore, guys.
No.
Guys and women and men are not courting each other.
Right.
It's not a one-sided thing.
Right. It's both.
You know what I'm saying?
You're
Both
right.
sides.
It's not a
It's
one-sided
You got
thing.
it. That's why it's
It's
about
not a
give,
one-sided
give.
thing.
You know what I'm saying? I think we need to lose the mentality of give and take in regards to women being independent. It's okay for you to make your own money. It's
Right.
okay for you to do your own thing. But it's also okay for a man to get your door for you.
Right.
It's also okay for a man to show you that he respects you, he honors you, and he appreciates you.
Right.
It's 100% okay. And it's not an insult. It's not saying that you're too weak to get the door. You're too weak to buy your own ride.
I don't know why women think that way though. And women do think that way.
Yeah. Or like if you cook and you serve your man first.
Yeah.
Oh, why you serving your man for? He's be serving.
Because I love him, bitch.
Right. Because
that's why you don't got
my
one.
way of honoring him because I want him to eat. You know, and I'll get up and serve him and the kids or whatever. You know, and. You're
like
right,
for those women that get up at like hella early and make their man lunch.
Yeah.
And they ain't gotta be up just because he's going to work and you get up and make his lunch. I'd be like, I salute y'all.
That's a good thing. That's 100%
a great thing.
Because you ate that person.
I don't know. I honestly can tell you I don't know. Because I've done it in my past.
To make the long
Exactly. He
the
has
long
to be worth
The right man with the right equipment.
Exactly.
Exactly.
It's a combination of it all. Because I just know but you got to be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
With what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So like I know like even though he's a great guy on this aspect, I know it's not gonna work over here on this side.
Yeah.
So like then why bother stringing him along, knowing at the end of the day it's not gonna work.
And you know what? That's good that you're true to yourself with that.
I have to be because
you
at the
are-
end of the
exactly.
day, like I'm not a cheater. So like I don't want to like, you're a nice guy. You might pay my bills. You might be all of this and great conversation. We can hang out and be friends. But then in the aspect, I'm like, I'm looking for something else when it comes to the bedroom.
You're right.
It has to be a combination of the two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're right.
That's what I mean.
No, I agree.
You get to.
It's about a conversation. It's about communication to get to that point.
Right, but it's still a conversation.
Yeah.
Part of the communication.
Yeah. And the rest is sex.
You have to. I'm sorry. It's a big, like that's top 3 in my book. It ain't top 3 for other people.
I know. I get it.
It's top 3. Like you, everybody has like their levels of what they want in a relationship.
No, I
right?
get it.
My sex is top 3 in my shit. I don't know if it's 1, 2, or 3, but it's up there. So like if it's whack,
it's in the back.
In the back. There you go. But you know, because that okay, to me it's just like if I enjoy sex with you and we haven't even connected on that deeper level, but I enjoy that, then imagine what it's gonna be like
when you do connect.
When we do connect.
Imagine how much better the sex is.
Man, look, I'm gonna be bringing you fucking lunch to your job. You feel me? Like
you're making lunch for
what?
everybody.
I'm like,
Everybody's
you know your boss.
Lunch.
You need a raise, baby. Don't worry, I got your boss. Don't worry, I got you. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I say I don't cook for everybody. So like there was this one dude I was dating, and I cooked for his ass. Off of 3 words, the motherfucker was like, I can't see you no more. I said, oh, fuck you. And I cooked for him. You know, I'm like, I hope you get diarrhea, motherfucker. But he was a nice, but he also showed extra chivalry. So like when I was dating him, he would like, we would go out to dinner and he would hold my chair. And I'm like, I wouldn't deny, I wouldn't stop. Right. But I was like, you gonna take off? He took off my coat, and it was just like, and it made me feel awkward. But I knew that was the right thing for him to do. But it made me. It was. I was mad at myself for feeling awkward.
Was it awkward because it's rare?
Yes,
exactly. Because I'm not used to that.
I had that experience too. Like he said, where they held the chair for you or took off your coat. I did. You can see, I was like, I did feel a little bit awkward, but at the same time, it was really nice. You know,
that says I'm always honest about what I want. I'm only proud of a lot of men that they speak for themselves. So that person, even if they aren't taking advantage of you, it's not easy dating. Somebody says, Al, just you old school, but old. Al, you're muy guapo, but need to teach these men and Benita to be old school.
Yeah. Who's the Facebook user? Facebook user. She said we old school.
Yeah, I am old
she's
school.
She's speaking.
Right.
Well, I don't want to assume. Forgive me.
You might get a girlfriend after this show. Here.
I don't want to assume. You know what I mean? Yeah. So what are we gonna do next? What should we do next?
So if you guys go to their page, you will see the story of the experiment day that we see out here. And they took me to this restaurant.
Oh, Jibarito y más. Jibarito y más.
I'm gonna
we plugged it. The masapurias are
that Jibarito.
Yeah, the Jibarito
that I had. It was steak. Oh my! And then I took half of it home and I ate it later, warmed it up. She was still banging. No, it was still banging. I was like, my son was like, "What you
Look, I love when people show me new places. I was like, they got alcohol? They're like, no. I'm like,
no.
Let me see. I don't know, but it didn't matter because I But I enjoyed the day out with you guys. I'm interested in what you guys have to say. I support it. I support the cause. Please join their group so you can have your motivational.
Well, you know what I would like to say? well, we posted it there, and it kind of explained the conversation. There really wasn't the conversation. So I would like to see more conversation, like that. Maybe we want to do it here, be like this. That's it. If you have an idea for an experiment for us to do, go to Motivational Man and post it. Well, Monday's Motivational Man, yeah. And post
Triple
it.
M.
Triple M. Yeah, it's on Facebook. It's open. And yeah, but yeah, send a message and give us an idea. Yeah, and give us an
You know,
idea
holidays are
of
coming.
what
Fuck,
you
it's already
think.
September.
Yeah, of
Give
what
us
you
an
think that we
What
could
other
do.
experiments that we could do?
Yeah, because that was actually fun.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we didn't have the response that we wanted.
I don't know if
It
I
was
joined the hug
actually
day.
fun. The
I
hug
feel like
day
there'd be
was
creepers.
amazing.
Yeah, believe it or not,
It was so much
it was
fun.
incredible. There's people out there, like I said,
People needed it.
some of my friends are not even huggers.
No,
Yeah.
but there
You
are some
realize that.
people
You
that
realize
do
that.
need a hug.
You
every
realize
once
that
in a
you
while.
were the one that needed a hug, though.
Yeah.
After that, you realize that
Yeah.
even though you don't give hugs, you really need one.
Oh, I do. I'm a hugger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm an affectionate person. Probably overly affectionate.
Man,
That
hug day was
day-
incredible.
That day was.
You talk
I
about
think we
emotions
should still
high.
do it. I don't
Emotions
care.
high. That day was incredible.
No,
Yeah.
that's great. I think you have to be in tune with who you are. Like I was not an emotional person. Like if they knew me, if people knew me back in my high school days as a teenager, I was a bitch. Like I was mean. I wasn't a bully, but I was mean. Like I was just very standoffish. Like what the fuck? I was on some gang shit. You feel me?
Gang.
And then my brother passed away. So when my brother passed away, that made me more in tune with my feelings because
Yeah.
I'm just like, with him passing away, I was just like, I don't want anybody who's around me not to know how I truly feel about them,
Yeah.
good or bad.
Mhm.
You know what I'm
Just hiding
saying?
your
So like,
emotions, yeah.
but it wasn't at that time. It wasn't necessarily hiding my emotions, but I didn't feel the need to show.
Yeah.
But it's your upbringing. Like my mother, like I know my mother loves me,
Yeah.
but like the words "I love you," she doesn't speak them.
Mhm.
She's more in regards to action. Like I don't need to tell you, but like now after all of that, and like with my kids, like before I leave the house, I love you, and they're like, I love you too, mom. I don't care if we say it 3 times a day, 4 times a
Right.
day. It's always
You know,
I love
coming
you.
out.
Yeah.
So like my mom's in Mexico right now. Mom, I need you back though, because it's fucking getting hard out here in these streets. But look, she's been gone for 3 weeks, and I'm like, oh my god, I need my mother back. You know, appreciate like I
Right.
appreciated her before, but I really appreciate her now. But it's like I can tell my mom like I love you, and before she'd be like, me too.
Yeah.
But
Instead of
after
saying, "I
some
love you
time,
back."
instead of that, but I know she loves me.
Yeah.
But it's a verbal,
Yeah.
thing. So it's just like, but now she'll say, I love you too.
Yeah.
But it at one point it almost seemed like it made her uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But it was just the upbringing of all the shit that she had to go through. So I never faulted her for it.
Yeah.
But it was just like, but I made sure that once my brother passed, it was just like anybody that is around me, like you're gonna know if I got love for you,
You're gonna know it.
you're gonna know it.
Yeah.
Like I don't give a fuck if it's family, friends, even my
Yeah.
enemies know. Like if I don't like you, you know I don't like you.
Yeah.
But if I love you, you know that I love you. You know what I'm saying?
So now, as a man, was that in your family?
What?
Like the affection from your father
like, the love.
and things like that.
My dad's very machismo. He
So
was very
how-
machismo. And
how are you so different then?
I won't say I'm different. I think my dad was affectionate to some extent, but he's more machismo than affectionate.
Well,
I
I'm
guess
saying
no.
as
I think it's almost like 50. I
so.
don't know.
Let me ask you this: what do you consider machismo?
My dad was old school, like Mexican. And
Like not chivalrous
no, he
to
was
your mother?
chivalrous. Yeah,
Okay, so
That's why it
machismo,
was-
like a man.
yeah.
You
But
mean
I think
machismo?
no one hit his
You
place.
mean
But
like
I don't think they had to
machismo?
say it. Like when you talk about machismo,
You mean
They
like the
didn't
man
speak.
works, the woman stays home, raises the kids, the man works, the man is
Mijo.
responsible
Yeah.
for the home.
you know those.
Don't
type of
cry,
conversations.
don't do this, don't
like
do
she
that,
said,
right?
Yeah.
So then where did you learn to be so different?
Through life later on.
Yeah.
I won't say I'm too different. I won't say I think. My dad does he has a beautiful heart.
Yeah.
He was a great man. But it was, I think, and my dad actually, he's the one that started the whole
Yeah,
hug thing.
I
Remember,
remember.
I told
Yes.
the story. He always would say, you know what, forget about what you're going through. Give
Right.
somebody a hug because you never know. Their problems could be worse than yours.
Right.
And
Or
they
it's
may
the
need
last
it.
person you may
got
see.
it.
Mm.
So that's when I initially started Hug Day for.
Yeah, I remember.
So My dad was on hard, so
Yeah.
I don't know in regards to.
But
I
it's
think
the
for me,
same.
it
Like
was his life.
you don't have to like my mother and your dad.
Yeah.
Like you have to verbalize it,
Yeah.
but you knew through their actions
Yeah.
Yeah.
that they loved you.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like my mom was just like,
My dad verbalized it too, but yeah.
"What are?" My
His
mother would
actions
be
were
like,
strong.
"What are words?"
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Without action.
words are nothing
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
the actions don't back it up.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So like, if my actions show more than my words, then believe my actions versus words. Because anybody can sell you a dream,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but if their actions ain't backing up what they're saying, then
Mm-hmm.
so like you don't have to say you give a fuck. But if I'm doing shit for you,
Yeah.
then know that I give a fuck.
And that's someone's love language too.
Yeah.
Right.
It depends. I was raised both parents, you know, my dad was an alcoholic. I knew I was loved. You know, I got my ass whooped a bunch of times with belts and all that stuff. Old school
Everybody.
time, you know. Can't do that now. To
Everybody
a
that got
kid.
trash will give me a high five.
The switches, the extension
No,
cords.
but I
the
think, but that's a
brooms,
love.
whatever.
But that was just like
But
a
it
love
made
language.
us, like you said, we're
who we are
we're
today.
from the 70s.
Yeah.
We're from.
It's a different era.
It's a different era.
Because
It definitely
nowadays
is.
it's like go in the corner and have a timeout. Fuck a timeout.
Yeah.
Your timeout is me warning
When
you
you-
2 times.
And when
to
you
get
woke
over,
up from being knocked out,
Yeah.
that was your
I don't do
timeout.
timeouts. I tried them one moment.
When you woke up
And I said,
From
timeouts
being
don't
woke-
fucking
yeah.
work.
Or when, I remember. I remember my mom would tell me, my mom would tell me, stop crying. I'm gonna give you some
You know what? I still use that. I still use that with my kids today. I'd be like, oh, you want you? I'll give you a reason to cry. So my thing is like, like I woke my children. I woke my children in the bathroom in the public bathroom. Really good. I wow, go for it. And so then the next time when I say, so when I say now, like, do you want to go to the bathroom with me? And they'd be like, no. And then act right. And then that's all it takes. It's just one good ass woman. I think it's something about the bathroom with the echo makes it feel worse. Like I don't know, but it's like I wouldn't even. Right, it's very dramatic. So like when you threaten them that like remember that one time in the bathroom, you want to do that shit again? They be like, no, I'm gonna keep my. I'm like, then act right.
So I guess
you
what we're
some act
trying to
right.
say, it depends on how you were raised. Your mentality is different for sure.
I want to agree with that, and I can't agree with it at the same time because there's people who are poor growing up,
Yeah.
but then rich later on.
Right.
It's all about your want. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying, and what you gotta strive for. You're gonna strive to be a gentleman. You want to be a gentleman. You can be a gentleman.
Right.
Simple as that.
Even men, I think it's just something that you can learn.
You
Yeah.
got it.
Right.
Yeah.
So even if you're a man, considered a man now.
Yeah.
Like if this part of this
Say that in quotes,
conversation,
consider
yeah,
a
you
man.
mean a man now because until you show, okay, we're gonna put them in quotations. But I think like even now, like
Juan said,
hearing this
boys trying to be men.
conversation,
Yeah. Boys.
hearing this
You're saying that,
conversation, and like what I was telling Al, because like when we dropped you off and we were in the car, he was dropping me off by my car, and I'm like, man, Al, like your energy is really like you're distraught
I
right
was
now.
down.
Yeah,
I was
He
so
was
really
down,
down.
but I
The
told him like
experiment fucked
like
me
the
up.
experiment messed him up a little bit. But I told him like, but just you're planting seeds though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I told him like this couple that you seen that
What's
you
the bright
met.
light? Yeah. I even
I'm
thanked them
like,
on our page.
Right,
Yeah.
and then like at the same time, they're gonna go back to their family and their friends and say, "Yo, look what happened to us
Mhm.
because I did this for my wife."
Yeah.
You know, and then they're gonna go and hopefully tell their friends like, "Oh," and then it could just happen a conversation like, "Oh, you know what? My homeboy just got a gift card because he opened the door for his wife."
Yeah.
And then you know what I'm saying? So it's like you're planting little seeds that can grow later in life.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the positive part. Even though it's just that one couple,
It's okay.
but you might affect another 20 lives in that
Yeah.
one instance of that 5-minute conversation that you had with this one couple.
And that's the thing about the page is it's not man bashing. It's to honor men,
Mhm.
but it's also to have men, like what we said before, go there and even ask questions.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, or
Right. You know,
Yeah, if you don't want to put in the face, like you said, inbox them. Inbox me. No, I just play it. Inbox them.
yeah,
One thing's motivational man.
there any last words you have to say about the show? Mondays, man. Mondays Motivational Man. Look up the group on Facebook. Please join the group. Don't cost you nothing. Yeah, it's an open forum. It's not man bashing people. But I think it's a place for men to just go and talk, sit up your chest, ask questions.
We're like, yo, is my girl tripping or not? Am I
Yeah.
wrong? Am I right?
Yeah.
Talk about relationship issues, whatever's going on.
I think it's like I think it's a good thing to say. Like we're not. I tell people all the time, like I ain't no therapist. I'm a hairstylist. I'm close. I'm learning that. That's so true. I'm learning that. To listen, but I'll give it. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard, but it's nothing like it is that. No. You gotta see what the other person. Right. Well, I'm saying like that's the learning thing because like I'll take like if I see my friends going through shit, I'll take it upon myself and I'm going through that shit. And I overreact. Right. Like I'll overreact and be like, wait, this bitch ain't even like I'm cussing your man up, but you ain't cussing them out. Like
Right, exactly. So I gotta like reel it back and be like, okay, so let me just give you my opinion and then keep my business over here.
Yeah.
Because I can cuss her man out and then tomorrow she's
With him.
with him. So who looks stupid?
Well, it's like parenting. When you go ask your kids something, 9 times out of 10, you know the answer.
Yeah.
You just want to see what they
I
say.
stopped saying.
Yeah.
You just want to see what they
I stopped
say.
saying like, why did you do that?
You got it. You just want to see what they say.
I
It's the
stopped
same thing
asking
with
that
relationships.
question.
Same thing
Yeah.
with relationships.
It's true.
It's true.
Sometimes you just want to express yourself upon no return.
Right.
Not nothing return. That's all.
I'm just gonna say something funny. Just make sure your significant other is on the same page.
No, it's fine. Go ahead. Just sometimes people need to go ahead.
You know what? But sometimes
But you
like
know what,
keep
though?
it
You're right,
anonymous,
though.
not
Take down the
anonymous,
wall.
but
Yeah.
like
Take down the wall and communicate. Talk
That's
to each
true.
other.
yeah.
A lot
That's
of times,
true.
you know what? Relationships are not working. Sex is not working. You guys are not working together because you guys are not
If
talking.
there's no
Yeah.
communication,
There's no
there's no good
communication.
sex.
You don't even know this person you're sleeping
Yeah.
with.
It's true.
You're just sleeping together.
So Monday's Motivational Man is about communication.
No.
The word for
gentlemen.
today.
No, the word for the words. I would say words
There's a bit of
are
few.
respect,
Respect,
communication,
Honor,
honor,
appreciation.
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 This is not just for the woman.
No, I think it's just in general.
This
In
is for
general.
yourself
For
too.
people.
too.
This is for
Yeah.
yourself
I
too.
think it's just for people.
And it's like
Hi, Melissa.
I don't either. But I thank you guys for joining me on the show today. You guys go follow their group.
Monday,
Monday's Motivational Man. Yeah. Yeah. So they're on the page. You can hit them up. But that is that question. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for coming on the show to talk about. I think we covered a lot of topics. Yeah. That's why I'm just like we just gonna start like because I know like usually I have like my little talk and then I was just like this is subject that's gonna happen. And I was like fuck my kids. And that's all I've been doing. Since my mother's out of town, because we're dealing with children. Like I'm like, yeah, this is what parenting is really like. Like, mom, I need you back. I need. Man, no. So like, I'm a busy individual. So like, with everything I'm involved in, no, sorry. He knows I like to talk. But like, with everything that I'm involved in, just having to deal with the extra, like, I don't have to. When my mom's in town, I don't have to go pick up my child. So now I have to make sure for the last 3 weeks, and the next week, I had to make sure I had that block so that I can go pick up the kid and pick the next kid. So a 6-year-old in the hair salon, I'm trying to deal with my client. And it's like, mommy, I'm hungry. Mommy, I'm bored. Mommy, I'm this. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Leave me alone. Because I'm not, I don't have that with my mom's home because he's at home doing his thing. And then, like, with me coaching, it's just like, I got to go. I got to do this. I can't. Or, like, even this weekend, I had plans on Sunday. But now my oldest son decided to go to work. I was gonna like go watch the Bears game. We were gonna do like the whole shots menu from this like bar that I work at. And, like, now he decided to go work, and I'm not trying to like. So I always tell him like my son is 16, and I try to don't put the responsibility like you're not the man of the house. You are a child.
Right.
So I don't want to be like you don't work because I gotta go drink.
Right.
How fucked up does that sound?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So now I'm like, okay, now I gotta find a babysitter because I'm still gonna go drink.
But see, if you were to do that, though.
If my mother was home, I had to think about it.
But see, if you were to do that, though, he would see those actions.
Yeah, no. You are not the man of the house.
You get what I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
You need to be a child, and if you decided to go work, then you go work. Because your little brother is not your responsibility. These are your responsibility now because I'm here.
Right.
But because I want to go
Not
party and
full-time.
have adult time,
Not
like that's
full-time.
not your responsibility. That's my responsibility. So I don't try to put those on him. But anyways, thank y'all for joining in on the show. The next show will be September 20.
I'm over looking at the
21st.
Right there.
Over there.
Yeah.
So hopefully you guys join me on September 21st, 8:00 p.m. 2 weeks. Thank y'all again for joining me. If you guys have any questions, hit them up on the Triple M group on Facebook.
Monday's Motivational Man.
Yes.
There you go. If you guys have any questions, hit me up, DM me, let me know.
Yeah.
Other than that, thank y'all. Enjoy the rest of your week. We are out.
Thanks.
Thank